I sat in my Boston apartment, still processing what had happened the previous Tuesday. He'd been married to Lauren for 2 years, together for 4 total. He thought their relationship was solid, built on trust and mutual respect. How spectacularly wrong he'd been. Lauren had come home from her marketing job around 5 p.m., practically bouncing with excitement. "Get dressed nice. I'm taking you somewhere special tonight. It's a surprise." The timing couldn't have been better. Ethan had been grinding through brutal hours at work, managing a critical system upgrade under impossible deadlines. A surprise date sounded perfect. He pulled out his charcoal suit, the one Lauren had bought him for their wedding reception. When he emerged from the bedroom, he found her wearing a crimson dress he'd never seen before. Form-fitting. Designer. Expensive. "Where are we going?" Ethan asked as they drove through the darkening streets. "You'll see. It's someone I really want you to finally meet." His stomach tightened. Lauren's parents lived across the country in California. Her brother was stationed overseas. Who else would require this level of build-up? They drove for nearly an hour into an upscale neighborhood outside the city, winding through streets where mansions sat behind iron gates and perfectly manicured lawns. Lauren pulled into a circular driveway before a stunning modern home. Glass walls, steel beams, architectural lighting that made the whole structure glow against the twilight. "Who lives here?" Ethan asked. Lauren checked her makeup in the mirror, adjusting her lipstick. "Just come on. Be yourself, okay? But like, the best version." "The best version?" What did that even mean? A man answered the door. Late 30s, athletic build, wearing the kind of expensive casual clothes you see in lifestyle magazines. He smiled at Lauren like they shared a secret. "You made it. Come in, come in." Lauren hugged him. Not a friendly hug. A familiar hug, full of warmth and history. "This is my husband," she said to the man. Then she turned to Ethan. "Honey, this is my ex-husband, Daniel." "Wait. What?" "Great to finally meet you," Daniel said, shaking Ethan's hand. His grip was firm, practiced. "Heard a lot about you." Ethan looked at Lauren. She'd mentioned her ex maybe twice in 4 years. Always vague. "It didn't work out," she'd said. "We wanted different things." "Come see the house," Daniel said. "Just finished renovating the pool area." Just like that, they were getting a tour. Lauren was gushing over the kitchen renovations, the home theater, the wine cellar. Ethan felt like a third wheel at his own whatever this was. In the living room, there were other people. 2 couples who seemed to know Daniel well. Probably his friends. "Everyone, this is my ex-wife and her husband," Daniel announced. Lauren jumped in. "This is my current project." She said it laughing. Playful. Like it was an inside joke. Everyone laughed except Ethan. "Project?" he asked quietly. "Oh, you know what I mean," she waved her hand dismissively. "You're a work in progress." "We're all works in progress." But the way she said it, the way Daniel's friends looked at him, like he was something she was fixing up, upgrading, making presentable. Daniel poured drinks. Expensive scotch Ethan couldn't pronounce. They sat in his living room while he talked about his business ventures, his recent vacation to the French Riviera, his new sports car. Lauren was hanging on every word. "Remember when we went there," she said at one point. "That little restaurant by the water. How could I forget?" Daniel smiled at her. Not at Ethan. At her. Ethan sat there for 2 hours. 2 hours of watching his wife light up for her ex-husband in ways he hadn't seen in months. 2 hours of being the current project while Daniel was clearly still the one. On the drive home, Ethan was quiet. "Wasn't that fun?" Lauren asked. "I've been wanting you two to meet forever." "Why? Why? What? Why did you want me to meet your ex-husband?" "Because he's important to me. We're still friends. I don't believe in cutting people out just because a relationship ends. You introduced me as your project." "Oh my God, don't be sensitive." "It was a joke." "Didn't feel like a joke." "Well, it was." "You're being ridiculous." They didn't talk the rest of the drive. Ethan couldn't sleep that night. He kept replaying the evening. The way she touched Daniel's arm when she laughed. The way she dressed up for him, not for Ethan. The way everyone in that room understood something he didn't. The next morning, Ethan called in sick to work. He started looking through Lauren's things. Not proud of it, but he needed to know. He found her tablet in her nightstand. She never locked it. Text messages going back months. Daily texts with Daniel. Thinking about you. Miss your face. Remember when we. Photos she'd sent him. Not inappropriate, but intimate. Her in that red dress before they left. How do I look? His response, perfect. Like always. Email exchanges about timing and when things settle. There was a thread about Ethan. Daniel asking, how's the project coming along? Lauren responding, getting there. Still rough around the edges, but he's trainable. Trainable. Like a dog. Ethan screenshot everything, sent it to his email, put her tablet back exactly where he found it. When Lauren got home from work, he was calm. He made dinner. They ate in silence. Are you still mad about last night? She finally asked. Nope. Good, because I'm going to Daniel's place again Friday. He's having a small dinner party. Thought we could go together. Actually, I have plans Friday. What plans? Meeting with a divorce attorney. Her fork clattered onto her plate. What? I saw the texts. The emails. All of it. Her face went through about 5 emotions in 3 seconds. Landed on angry. You went through my tablet. You introduced me as your project to the man you're still in love with. I am not in love with him. The messages say otherwise. Those are private. We're married. There is no private when it comes to another man. She stood up. You're overreacting. We're just friends. Friends don't talk about timing in our future. Friends don't send dress photos asking how they look. You're twisting everything. I'm done, Ethan said. I'm filing Monday morning. You can't be serious. Watch me. 5 days later. The manipulation came fast. Lauren spent Thursday trying to convince Ethan he was misinterpreting everything. Friday, she tried tears. Saturday, she tried anger. Sunday, she tried bargaining. If you're that insecure, I'll stop talking to him. It's not about insecurity. It's about respect. Something you clearly don't have for me. Monday morning, Ethan met with an attorney. A sharp woman in her 50s who'd seen everything. He showed her the screenshots. This is emotional infidelity, she said. Possibly planning for physical infidelity. Either way, good documentation. What are my options? File for divorce. Pretty straightforward since you've only been married 2 years. How are your finances structured? Separate accounts mostly. I own the condo we live in. Bought it before we met. She moved in after the wedding. Any joint assets? Joint savings account. We both contribute. About 30,000 in there. My car is mine. Hers is hers. I have a retirement fund from my job. She has one from hers. Kids? No. This should be relatively clean. You'll likely split the joint savings. Your individual accounts stay separate. Retirement funds stay separate since you've only been married 2 years. The condo is yours. What about her? What can she claim? Not much. She can try for spousal support, but given the short marriage and her income, unlikely. She can contest the divorce if she wants, but with this evidence. She tapped the screenshots. She won't win. Ethan filed that afternoon. Lauren got served at her office Wednesday. The phone calls started immediately. 32 calls. 32 text messages ranging from apologetic to threatening. We need to talk about this like adults. You're making a huge mistake. I'll fight this. You can't just throw away our marriage. My lawyer says you're screwed. Ethan responded once. All communication goes through my attorney. Her number is in the service documents. Thursday evening, Daniel called him. Yeah, Daniel called him. Hey man, I think there's been a misunderstanding, he started. Is this the ex-husband? Yeah, look. Save it. Tell my wife I said hi. Ethan hung up. Blocked his number. Friday night, Lauren showed up at the condo. Ethan had changed the locks Wednesday night. Smart move. She pounded on the door. Let me in. I live here. He opened the door. Chain still on. You got the service papers. You know this is my property. You can't lock me out. Actually, I can. Your name was never on the deed. You never paid the mortgage. Legally, you were a guest. My stuff is in there. I'll pack it this weekend. You can pick it up Sunday afternoon. Bring someone to help carry boxes. This is illegal. Check with your lawyer. It's not. She tried to push the door. The chain held. I made a mistake. Okay. I'm sorry. Can we please just talk? Nothing to talk about. The marriage is over. Because of some texts. You're being insane. Because you never stopped loving him. Because you saw me as a project. Because you humiliated me in front of his friends. Pick your reason. I don't love him. Not like that. Your messages say otherwise. The way you looked at him says otherwise. The fact that he just called me to explain things says otherwise. Her eyes widened. He called you. Yep. Guess you two really are close. What did he say? Doesn't matter. We're done. Pick up your stuff Sunday, 2 p.m. Don't be late. He closed the door. Heard her crying outside for maybe 10 minutes. Then she left. Ethan spent the weekend boxing her stuff. Clothes, toiletries, books, decorations, everything. He put it all in the garage. Made it neat, organized. Wasn't trying to be petty, just efficient. Sunday at 2 p.m. sharp, Lauren arrived with Daniel. She brought him to pick up her stuff from their marital home. The audacity was impressive. We're here for the boxes, she said, trying to sound strong. Ethan opened the garage. It's all there. Daniel walked into the garage like he owned it. Started looking through boxes. This should be everything, Ethan said to Lauren, ignoring Daniel completely. Can we talk? She asked. Inside. Privately. Nope. 5 minutes. Please. Your lawyer can talk to my lawyer. That's all the communication we need. Daniel cleared his throat. Look, man, I think you're misunderstanding our relationship. Did I ask you something? Ethan cut him off. Just trying to help. Help by loading boxes into the car and leaving. Daniel looked at Lauren. She nodded at him. He actually started loading boxes. Watching him carry her stuff was satisfying in a way Ethan couldn't fully describe. This guy with his mansion and his scotch and his French Riviera vacations, playing moving men for the woman who chose him over her marriage. When they were done loading, Lauren tried one more time. I know I messed up, but don't you think this is extreme? Divorce over some texts. It's not about the texts. It's about who you are. You don't respect me. You never did. I was just the safe choice after he broke your heart. That's not true. When's the last time you looked at me the way you look at him? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. Take care of yourself. He closed the garage door. Went inside. Didn't look back. 3 weeks later. Lauren didn't take the divorce lying down. Her lawyer tried every angle. Claimed she had marital interest in the condo despite never being on the deed. Ethan's lawyer shut that down with documentation showing he'd owned it 3 years before they even met. They tried claiming she'd contributed to mortgage payments. Ethan showed bank records proving he paid the mortgage from his account. She paid utilities and groceries from hers. Separate finances, separate contributions. Then came the really interesting part. Lauren's mother called. This woman Ethan had met maybe 4 times in 2 years. You're destroying my daughter's life. Your daughter destroyed her own marriage. She made a mistake. She's sorry. She's sorry she got caught. You're being vindictive, taking everything from her. I'm keeping what's mine. She's keeping what's hers. That's how property division works. What about the money in the joint account? We're splitting it 50-50. She'll get $15,000. That's fair. She needs more. She has to find a new place to live. Should have thought about that before emotionally cheating with her ex. That's not what happened. Text messages say otherwise. Have a nice day. Ethan hung up. Blocked that number too. But the real power move came from Daniel. Ethan received a letter from an attorney, different from Lauren's attorney, from Daniel, demanding he cease harassment of his partner. His partner. They weren't even hiding it anymore. The letter claimed Ethan was interfering with their relationship and causing emotional distress by divorcing his wife. Ethan's lawyer laughed when he showed her. This is the stupidest thing I've seen in 20 years of practice. She sent back a response that basically said, my client's divorce from his wife has nothing to do with your client. Stop wasting everyone's time. But here's where it got interesting. Through some mutual acquaintances, Ethan found out that Daniel's business partner wasn't thrilled about him getting involved with a married woman. Their company did government contracts. Optics mattered. Ethan didn't have to do anything with this information. Just knowing it was enough. 2 days later, Lauren called from a different number. Ethan answered just to hear what excuse she'd come up with. You told his business partner about us. I didn't tell anyone anything. Someone did. Now he's getting pressure at work. Not my problem. You're trying to ruin his life because you can't have me. Ethan actually laughed. Can't have you. I'm divorcing you. You're the one who apparently couldn't let him go. We're in love. We always have been. Finally. The truth. Then why'd you marry me? Silence. Why'd you waste 2 years of my life pretending you wanted to be my wife when you were really just killing time until he wanted you back? It wasn't like that. What was it like then? Explain it to me. More silence. You can't, can you? Because there's no good explanation. You used me. Probably to make him jealous, or to prove you could move on, or because you wanted to feel wanted. And when he snapped his fingers, you were ready to go running back. That's not fair. Neither is introducing your husband as a project to the men you actually love. Funny how that works. I do love you. Just differently. Differently. Right. Like you love a pet or a hobby. Stop twisting my words. I'm done with this conversation. I'm done with you. Sign the divorce papers. Move on with your life. Be with him. I genuinely don't care anymore. You do care. That's why you're being so mean. I'm being honest. There's a difference. Goodbye. He blocked that number. The court date for the temporary orders hearing came up. Lauren showed up with her new attorney. Apparently, the first one dropped her. This one looked fresh out of law school. The judge reviewed everything. The text messages. The emails. The timeline. Mrs. Carter, you were in communication with your ex-husband throughout your current marriage? We're friends, Your Honor. Friends who discuss timing and our future. Those messages were taken out of context. What context makes this appropriate? She didn't have an answer. Temporary orders granted everything Ethan asked for. Exclusive use of the condo. Split of joint account. No spousal support pending final divorce. Lauren's attorney tried to argue she needed emergency funds. The judge asked why. She has to find new housing, Your Honor. Does she have employment? Yes, but then she can use her employment income for housing. Motion denied. Outside the courthouse, Lauren was crying. Her mother was there, glaring at Ethan like he'd personally victimized them. Daniel was there too, standing off to the side, waiting. Lauren went straight to him. He put his arm around her. Ethan walked to his car alone. But honestly, he felt lighter than he had in months. 2 months later. The divorce finalized last week. Took about 90 days total from filing to final decree. Pretty fast, according to Ethan's lawyer. Final terms, Ethan kept the condo. They split the joint savings, $15,000 each. Each kept their individual retirement accounts. Each kept their own vehicles. No spousal support. Each paid their own legal fees. Lauren tried to fight for more. Her lawyer made motions claiming she'd given up career opportunities for the marriage. False. She had the same job the whole time. Claimed she'd contributed to the condo's value through homemaking. Also false. They both worked full-time and split household duties. The judge wasn't having it. 2-year marriage, separate finances, clear evidence of infidelity. Done. The interesting part came after. Remember Daniel's business partner? Turns out the government contract situation was legit. His company lost a major contract renewal. Not because of Lauren directly, but because during the renewal process, there were questions about the principal's character and judgment. Dating a married woman while her divorce was pending apparently didn't scream sound judgment to the contracting officers. Daniel's company took a major financial hit. Word through the grapevine was that the business partner was furious and forced him out. Bought out his stake at a significant loss. Lauren moved in with Daniel right after the divorce finalized. Into his fancy mansion with his expensive scotch and his French Riviera vacation photos. 2 weeks later, she moved out. Ethan heard from a mutual friend that once the business fell apart, Daniel's personality changed. Suddenly, he was stressed, angry, not the sophisticated charming guy anymore. Turned out most of his lifestyle was leveraged on that business success. Lauren apparently didn't like the struggling version of him. Imagine that. She's living with her mother now. According to social media, Ethan doesn't look, but people still tell him things. She's focusing on herself and learning from past mistakes. Daniel's mansion is for sale. The market's rough right now. He's probably underwater on it. As for Ethan, he's doing fine. Not great, not terrible. Just fine. He lost some money on legal fees. About $8,000 total. Lost 2 years of his life to a relationship that was never real. Lost some faith in people's capacity for honesty. But he kept his dignity. Kept his home. Kept his self-respect. The condo's quiet now. In a good way. Ethan repainted the bedroom, got new furniture for the living room, made it his again. He started seeing a therapist. Dealing with the trust issues. The feeling of being used. The anger. It helps. Work's been good. That stressful project finished. He got a small promotion actually. More responsibility, better pay. His boss told him he seemed more focused lately. Guess divorce does that. Ethan's not ready to date yet. Maybe won't be for a while. That's okay. Rather be alone and honest than coupled and humiliated. He ran into Lauren last week. Total accident. Same coffee shop. Wrong timing. She looked tired. Older somehow. Hi, she said quietly. Hi. Awkward silence. How are you, she asked. Good. You. I'm managing. Another silence. I really am sorry, she said. For what it's worth. I know I hurt you. I was confused and selfish and I made terrible choices. Okay. Is that all you have to say? What do you want me to say? That I forgive you. That we can be friends. That it's all water under the bridge. Maybe. I don't forgive you. We can't be friends. And it's not water under the bridge. It's a scar that'll always be there. But I'm moving past it. That's the best I can offer. She nodded, eyes watering. I really did love you. Just not the way you deserved. I know. Does that help? Knowing that. Not really. But it's honest. So there's that. She left. Ethan stayed. Finished his coffee. Went home. The thing about being someone's project is that projects have end dates. They get completed, abandoned, or demolished and rebuilt into something new. Lauren tried to rebuild him into whatever she thought he should be. What she thought would make Daniel jealous, or would prove she'd moved on, or would fill whatever void she had inside. But Ethan was never a project. He was a person. And he deserved someone who saw him that way. Took him a while to remember that. Took being humiliated at a mansion, finding devastating text messages, and going through a divorce at 32 to really understand it. But he gets it now. He's not anybody's project. Not anymore. The divorce papers are in a folder in his file cabinet, right next to the screenshots of those messages. He keeps them as a reminder. Not of her betrayal, but of his decision to walk away. Some people stay in situations like that. Convince themselves it's fine. It'll get better. They're overreacting. Make excuses for being treated as less than. Ethan didn't. And that's the part he's proud of. The revenge wasn't elaborate. He didn't sabotage anyone's job or relationship. Didn't blast them on social media. Didn't try to turn people against them. The revenge was simple. He left. He took his dignity, his self-respect, and his property. And he walked away. Let them have each other and whatever mess came with it. Turns out that was enough. Life handled the rest on its own. Daniel's business imploded. Their relationship fell apart. Lauren's life got significantly harder. Meanwhile, Ethan's here in his condo with his promotion, in therapy, healing. Not perfect, not even close. Still angry some days. Still hurt. Still processing the betrayal and the waste of time. But he's free. And that's worth more than any revenge he could have planned. To anyone going through something similar, trust your gut. When someone shows you they don't respect you, believe them. When someone introduces you as a project instead of a partner, that tells you everything you need to know. You're not paranoid. You're not overreacting. You're not being sensitive. You're being honest with yourself about how you deserve to be treated. And that honesty. That's what sets you free.